Hello everyone, so today I have a very exciting video. I'm going to be unwrapping, swatching and testing out this new palette of watercolours that was very kindly gifted to me by Larry Post, which is a store here in Sydney that just stocks basically every art supply I could ever want. So thank you very much to them for sending this to me. So this is the box of 21 full pans. And it comes in this really nice purple palette, which is really nice. It's a fully metal palette. A lot of these colours I haven't actually ever used before, so I am quite excited to give this a go because it is just a lot of unique colours that I wouldn't necessarily pick straight away, but they definitely seem like interesting choices. So they all come in these little individually wrapped packaging, and it took me quite a while to unwrap all of these, so I'm just gonna speed up through this process. I did have a few issues with some of them where the paper was actually getting stuck, as you can see in some of these. Yeah, there it's getting a little bit stuck, which is a bit annoying, but you know, with using the paint a few times it'll probably just sort of go away once I've started dabbing water and brush into the pan. These are all half pans and they're all really nicely filled to the brim, so I'm sure these will last me quite a long time, even though I do usually go with tubes of paint that I fill myself. I'm still, you know, there's so many colours in here and they're so pigmented, I have a feeling it's going to last me quite a long time. This is quite an interesting palette. There's a lot of different yellows and warm tones. The only thing that I would say is slightly missing from this palette for my taste is a burnt sienna. Although there are a few colours that are quite close to the burnt sienna, like that orange you can see there, and there is a brown, but it's not quite a burnt sienna. One of my favourite parts of this palette was the purples and the greens and the blues. I just felt like all of the cooler colours were quite pigmented, which I really enjoyed, especially with the purple. I don't know why recently I've just been really obsessed with purple watercolour. I just think it looks so good, especially if you mix it with a little bit of yellow in the mix, which is its complement. A few of the colours seem to be quite opaque, so this green, as you can see, with opaque colours you can't see the granulation as much. So if you compare that green to, say, the purple above it, where you can see a big shift in tone, with opaque colours it's not quite as dramatic, and sometimes the granulation isn't as obvious. But most of them seem pretty transparent, and yeah, I was pretty happy with the swatch. So to test this out, I wanted to paint the Aurora Borealis because I'm doing a project to paint the 7 natural wonders of the world at the moment. And so before I did my final painting, I just wanted to have a little play around with these paints and just throw them around and just see what happens. If you're in a bit of a creative slump at the moment, just getting some paper out and just throwing paint around is really, really fun. So I tried some of them as wet in wet, and then I tried a few as wet on dry, and just tried a few different techniques to see what I would like to do for my bigger painting. And I think I realised that wet in wet probably was the best way to go after doing all of these tests. So once I'd done the little tests, I went on and did the final painting, and I think probably the best way for you to see how this paint performs is just to watch me do a painting. So I'm just going to go quiet now and let this painting play out. Feel free to paint along with me, have this going on in the background, grab a cup of coffee and just see how it turns out and see how the paint looks. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully this was helpful, and I'll see you in another video.